Hi, welcome back to our new series called What is Your Theory? Where we flesh out our wildest theories about the Wheel of Time. Today we're going to hear from Jansen. Jansen, what's your wild theory?
Here's a crazy theory, and this is fact-based, and this is a little wild, but this is what I think. I think that the Crystal Throne and Callandor were both made at the same time. I believe they were made for things that they are not being used for, as Semestra, the Green Man, said about at least Callandor, and I believe they were made for the Shadow's use during the War of Power. And get this, I also believe that they were both made using the one power and the true power together. I believe they were both made to be ter'angreal using both. And here's why. We know for a fact crazy things happen. For one, specifically with Sidar and the true power, crystal is formed. Now we know that happened at the end with Mazrim, Tame, and Egwene. Crystal was formed, and they were used. Crystal that could not be broken. We know that because Logain was about to even try to use Balefire to actually move it, but he couldn't because it was resisting everything.
Oh, crazy.
Now, the reason why I believe they were both used for the Shadow is because of the properties of what we know from hearing about the Crystal Throne. We know of some of the effects that the Crystal Throne has had on the Shanshan as far as its citizens. And I thought about, what would it take for me to have such devotion to someone that I would kill myself when they die? It would take a lot. And for everyone, there may be some people who would have that kind of devotion. But everyone is ready to kill themselves like that. I believe that's the work of the power. And I think that maybe Demon Dread, we know for a fact that the Forsaken, they ran certain cities and districts back in the Age of Legends during the War of Power. And different Forsaken ran their cities differently. We know that Semerhog was just, hers were ran by pure fear. No one wanted to do anything wrong. They would rather kill themselves. We know that Demon Dread killed everybody who slighted him. We know that Samael just ground his people to dust and hold his hand. He said, what did he say about Rand? Oh, yeah, he doesn't know how to really grasp his hand, close it, and really know how to rule them. We know that he did that. We know that different ones ruled differently. Well, it would have been very easy for one of them to rule sitting on a ter'angreal that had the properties of the Crystal Throne.
Yeah.
And from everything that I think of, everything that I've seen in the Wheel of Time, any time the true power was used, it corrupted whatever it was using. I can't think of a more corrupted group of people, civilization of people, than the Shanshan. And then I thought about, okay, but everything has something that it plays off. There's an opposite to everything. And I was like, well, what? Something else that does that on the other side? Something, I don't know. But then I thought, well, there's more than one side. Sometimes people say there's 3, maybe 4 sides in the Wheel of Time because the true power existed. But then there was the power that Rand used at the end. And then I thought about it, and I thought the closest thing was Padan Fain and who he was before. At least one of his personalities seeped into cities, infecting everyone over time. And I thought that, that's the only other character. So there are 2 things, 2 entities, 2 objects like that in these books. And it's very, 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 very possible that the third is Matt's dagger with the red crystal on the end of it.
Okay. All right. So here are my questions. You said that these items were made the War of Power
during the War of Power,
and that they were made, and that they're now being used for the wrong reasons that they're made. Can you talk about why they were made?
Yes, they're not being used for the reasons they were supposed to be used for. Like when they were first made, they had no idea that they were making one of the weapons of their own destruction. As far as Callandor, they were. I only can think of someone during the Age of Legends making a sword like Callandor only for something bad. Making a weapon was probably one of the craziest, worst things you could do. And I believe that the only ter'angreal that we saw that looked like crystals, or only time we saw any crystals using the power in the entire books was when Egwene and Mazrim Taine became crystal themselves. So I was like, what was, and I was like, is Callandor and the Crystal Throne a form of Quindiar mixed with the true power? Is that something, is that a possibility? It could be. But I do think that they were both made together to be used together. And I believe that at some point in the fifth, maybe sixth age, they might be coming back together at one point to be used together. But I do believe that that is what they're both being used for right now. And I think that it's not, well, obviously slavery is their biggest problem, one of their biggest problems. But I believe that that is the reason why the Crystal Throne is making them do that, making them see that do those kind of corrupted things, because that's exactly what Padan Fain, as what was his name, Morden, or did, or what was his name when back in Shadow Logoth? What was his name?
Mashadar?
No, the guy.
Mordith.
Morden. Okay,
Yeah.
so Mordith and his power also worked against when they worked, they thought they were doing something good, even though they weren't. The Crystal Throne is doing the similar thing. They think they're doing something good, even though it's not. And it's a corruption, just like Hall that turned into Shadow Logoth was a corruption. There's no wonder that the Shan Chen is always fighting, always in turmoil. It always is. It's always corrupted.
Yeah. So do you think okay, so this is fascinating. So the Crystal's Throne is just basically like a large scale compulsion machine in a way, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, almost imagine a seismograph, it just goes out, and the reverberations of the pull of whoever's sitting in it.
And I also believe it gives whoever is seating on it a longer life.
Oh. Do you think Demandred used Callandor and the Crystal Throne together went back in the Age of Power?
It could have been him, but it also could have been. See, I thought about that, and then I thought no, because he never mentioned it in any POVs.
No.
But then I thought about something that Mogideon had said in her POVs, something that Masana had said in her POVs, and something that Grendel had said in her POVs. There were many other chosen. There were at least 50 or more.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember when they died, they were like, okay, we're too few to kill us off now, so he has to keep bringing us back. But there were more. So there could have been any other chosen that had come up with his own scheme to make those ter'angreal, and that was just another failed attempt. But Aes Sedai, being Aes Sedai, and doing the times, like Samastra said, they used whatever items they could to survive, taking those that they already had hand from, confiscating from someone they had already killed is a great way to do it.
That's amazing.
What did Lews Therin know about these two items?
What did Lews Therin know? That's a good question. We would only know more of that towards the end through Rand's own POV from being Lews Therin, because they didn't say much. We know, okay, so this is great. That's an awesome question because it adds a lot of weight to my argument in this theory. Lews Therin didn't really mention much about Callandor until he became Rand, because Lews Therin didn't know about the plan to turn Callandor into a weapon against them. He had no idea. We hear about the foretellings through the road to the spear. And we hear about, the Aes Sedai saying, how is this good information if we don't know when? Lews Therin had already died. Everything's going nuts. So he had no idea that they were using Callandor for anything. And it's huge because he does mention the knowledge of some of the other ter'angreal that are around, such as the first male version of Katsuin's paralysis net that he called it. We know that he knew about that. We also know that he knew the guy, I believe, who created it, and his name was Corlin Jorbison, I believe.
It sounds like you just made that up.
Yeah, Shurga Flurga.
Corlin Jorbison. Yeah, Corlin Jorbison. I believe that was his name. That was a guy that Rand's POV from Lews Therin brought up. There was a few others like the guy from Farmatting that what was his name? Can't remember. It'll come to me at the point. But he didn't like Gil Game. That was Gil Game. That was his name. And Gil Game was afraid of change. And they're the ones who actually invented the Guardian before it was even needed for the use of it, what it was used for. Because Farmatting is the only city, the only thing that's been around since the Age of Legends. Everything else is not. Farmatting was there. Lews Therin knew about it.
Oh shit. Okay, that's awesome. I don't even know if I knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he knew about it. He told that's in his POV to Min as he's walking towards the Guardian to meet the Borderlanders before his test from them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in his Gil Game, that was his name. Oh, he says, "Oh, how I should have listened to Gil Game." That's what he said, something like that.
So this is an amazing theory. So, and it kind of coalesces around your observations that when the true power and the one power collide, Crystallis is formed.
Yes. Well, specifically when Sidar and the true power.
Okay.
Because we don't know for sure, because what we do know about anything like that happening, we do know that when a balefire used by the true power touches a balefire used by Sidene, that it bonds the two men together. We know that. It creates the only male water bond that we know of.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah, that's my other theory. I didn't want to bring that up yet.
No, yeah, we'll save it for another video. Oh my god, okay. Oh, well, have you exhausted all your resources and you hit all your points?
Yes.
All right. What do you guys think at home? This theory? Give us your thoughts in chat. Give us a like and subscribe. And look out for the next What is Your Theory video. And as always, run for your lives! This is the way of the leaf!
Ah.
All right.